Welcome to week 4 of Bible Studies for Life, continuing through the 10 Commandments. Today, probably the one that when you say, okay, can you name the 10 Commandments? This is one of the first ones that comes out of people's mouths, right? We're just going to look at this one, but then look at a story out of 1 Samuel, again in the life of David, and a story out of his life to see how we can apply this, what it means to us in real life as we go through our existence, okay? Exodus 20:13. Do not murder. It's a long verse, isn't it? Boy, it's complicated, isn't it? Do not murder. Just straight out. Do not murder. Do not take someone's life in murdering them. Now, look, it's not do not kill. It's do not murder. Okay? There is a difference. He's not talking about don't participate in war. He's not saying that. He's not saying do not defend yourself against an onslaught, against an attack. He is saying do not murder. Do not take someone's life, an innocent life. Do not take the innocent life. And I like when I've done an exercise before, you may have done it, where we take the 10 Commandments and we say, okay, the do nots, let's make them all positive statements. I like to do that with this one and say, honor life, respect life, protect life. Right? Life is valuable. Life is important. Honor it. It is a gift from God. Protect it. Honor life. Protect life. Don't murder. Protect people. Protect their lives. This is the command from God. This is this broad statement. But boy, we need these clear statements, don't we? Because if we didn't have these clear statements, people would just go crazy. We would just do all kinds of things. And we see that, how some people live their lives that way. Look, if we didn't have these clear lines drawn for us, almost everyone would live their life that way. Do not murder. Okay, here's a story that comes out of the relationship between David and Saul in 1 Samuel chapter 26. It says, that night David and Abishai came to the troops, and Saul was lying there asleep in the inner circle of the camp with his spear stuck in the ground by his head. Okay, this is when Saul has his army out and he's trying to find David. He's pursuing David. He's going to kill David. That's what he wants to do. He's jealous of David. He doesn't want David's already been pronounced by Samuel as the new king, right? He's already been anointed as the successor to Saul. Saul's still alive. Saul says, I'm going to take care of this. He's not going to be my successor. I'm going to kill him. He gets his troops. He goes to find him. So one night, David and his friend Abishai, they find the troops and they sneak up on them in the middle of the night, and there's Saul laying on the ground, sleeping, a circle of people around him, but he's asleep. His spear is stuck in the ground by his head. Abner and the troops were lying around him. They're asleep. Then Abishai said to David, here's the advice from his good friend. Right? Today, God has delivered your enemy to you. Let me thrust the spear through him into the ground just once. I won't have to strike him twice. There he is, the guy that's trying to kill you. Why don't you just let me take the spear and I'll just kill him. Right here, I'll stick him. I'll go right through him into the ground. He'll never know what happened, right? He'll be dead. I won't have to do it twice. One time, he's dead, and this deal's over with. Perfect opportunity. Easy, right? Simple, clear opportunity. He even says, God gave us this. God put him here. God opened the door for us to do this. Wow, what are you going to do, right? Has God now created this opportunity? Is that what's happened? Is that what we're looking at? Look at how David responds. David added, as the Lord lives, the Lord will certainly strike him down. Either his day will come and he will die, or he will go into battle and perish. However, because of the Lord, I will never lift my hand against the Lord's anointed. Instead, take the spear and the water jug by his head and let's go. David says, look, I'm not going to kill the one that God has anointed to serve as the king right now. David's been anointed to serve as the successor to Saul, but he says, look, Saul's going to die one day. The Lord's going to strike him down. He's going to die in a battle. Something's going to happen, right? He's going to die. So, but he's not going to die by my hand. I'm not going to kill him, and I'm not going to order his killing. I'm not going to be a part of that because of the Lord, I am not going to lift my hand against the Lord's anointed. He says that is not going to happen for me, okay? So what he's saying here is, I respect that life that he has. And I'm not going to, God's hand is on him, and I'm not about to take life that God has anointed, God has gifted. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a part of that. Now look, David, the statement was Saul has killed his thousands and David has killed his tens of thousands. Okay, David had been in a battle. He'd been into war. He would do that. But here he sees Saul as a man anointed by God, a life honored by God. He's not going to take that life. He respects that life. He's not going to murder Saul. He's not going to be a part of it. He says one day he's going to die, and in that time then I'll step in. I'll become the king. But I'm not going to step in before that time has come. So as David saw it, and Abishai saw it, and Abishai saw God has opened the door for us to kill Saul. I think what David said is God has opened the door for me to tell you that I'm not going to kill Saul. Okay? This is one of the things when we try to understand God's will, okay, that we can't go but just by an open door, open window kind of a thing. We can't just do that, because what's the door open for? What's the purpose of the open window? Right? Was the window open so that he could take Saul's life, or was the window open so that he could show Saul that he's not going to take his life? So it's up to interpretation. Now, David understood that this man was anointed by God. I am not going to take the life of the man anointed by God. So for him, he saw that as the primary thing that held over everything, right? That was over everything. I'm not going to kill this man. I'm not going to murder him. So for him, the door was open so that he could show Saul and others, I'm not going to kill Saul. So they take the spear and the water jug and they leave. The next day he shows Saul, I've got your spear. I've got the jug. I was there. I could have killed you. I had your life in my hands. And he says, the Lord will repay every man for his righteousness and his loyalty. I wasn't willing to lift my hand against the Lord's anointed, even though the Lord handed you over to me today. Just as I considered your life valuable today, so may the Lord consider my life valuable and rescue me from all trouble. I considered your life valuable, Saul. I'm not going to take it. You're the Lord's anointed. You're the Lord's anointed. I'm not going to take your life. Your life is valuable. Your life is meaningful. And that's a great way to say that opposite of do not murder. All right. Consider life valuable. All life is valuable. Okay, look. We're in this time now where we say Black Lives Matter, and you can't say you say all lives matter. If you say all lives matter, you're negating. Okay, I get the time that we're in, but we need to understand something clearly. It is always true that all lives matter to God. All lives are valuable. All of them. We need to stand. We need to protect those lives. We need to honor those lives because they're all valuable. They all matter to God. They all should matter to us. Every person should matter to us, regardless of their politics, regardless of their color, regardless of their national origin. All lives should matter to us. David said, I considered your life valuable today. So I'm praying that the Lord considers my life valuable and he rescues me from trouble. That God will protect me. If I'm willing to take someone else's life, if I'm willing to take someone else's life, then someone may take my life. And how can I begrudge the Lord for not protecting me when I wasn't willing to protect someone else? Saul's response to him, Saul said to him, you're blessed, my son David. You will certainly do great things and will also prevail. Then David went on his way and Saul returned home. Well, it wasn't all for Saul. He was going to come back later, but a respect there and a recognition that David was going to be his successor. You will also prevail. You'll prevail. You're going to win this deal. And Saul had the depression and he had all kinds of, I think, mental issues, that he struggled with. But for David, Saul's life mattered. And in that moment, Saul understood that David's life mattered too. We've got to respect life. We've got to honor life. We have to protect life because all lives are important. They're all valuable to God. Every life, born and unborn, are important to God. Don't throw yours away. Your life's important to God. And don't throw anybody else away. Their life is important to God as well. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful to you. God bless you as you spend some time studying and getting ready to teach from Exodus chapter 20 in the 10 Commandments. Okay, like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.